Hi guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host, Clinton Reed. And today is the first day of the new Read the Rainbow TBR. You guys remember the old board, which only had 7 colors with 7 spices. Instead, we now have 8 colors with 7 spaces. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 7 spaces. But let me go over what the new board is. If you guys don't know what Read Your Rainbow is, the old rules kind of don't apply anymore. I had played this for a couple of months, tried some other things, and figured out what works for me and what doesn't. So we'll go over everything. So I'm just going to slide that out of the way. And if you see any, like, gigantic totes and stuff in the room, I apologize if the library looks like a mess. Oh, you can't see it. But if you ever see totes in here, it's because all of our wedding stuff is right there. And 2, if you hear Kaylani's voice, it's because Sterling's watching her latest video in the other room on the TV. But let's just go over the new flag, and then we'll get into my buddy reads for the month, what I'm rolling over, and everything. Okay? So the new flag has the original 8 colors of the rainbow on it, with pink, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Let me step over to here. Pink will represent paranormals. Any of my paranormal fantasies, paranormal romances, whatever I deem as paranormal. Because I may include, like, aliens as a paranormal aspect. Because I don't really read sci-fi, but there's a few with, like, aliens in it, if that makes sense. Red is still thrillers. Orange is still contemporary, but I opened it up because I don't read a lot of regular contemporary novels. So with contemporary, if I've got, like, a queer book over here that I'm wanting to read, or a thriller I want to read, or something that's got a contemporary setting that fits in my eyes, we shall read. I'm going to go ahead and close my laptop so it can stop making that noise. Yellow is now middle grade. Green is still queer. Blue is now fantasy. Indigo is now, like, little prompts. And violet are all flags and some cards. Which, where do we put the cards? Ha. But let's go over each color and what they represent. Like, what each one says. Pink, on pink, which is paranormal, we have a YA paranormal, an adult paranormal, a book about witches, vampires, shapeshifters, any of the previous, or ones that have, like, a lot of different kinds in it, or it's called other, so it's like anything that incorporates anything paranormal. Like, it could be a vampire story, but it has, like, a lot of witches in it, or it has, like, a fallen angel. And then just to continue a series, because I have a habit of not continuing series. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm talking so fast and why I'm so nervous. And then red is your thrillers, which you've got a new to me author, an author I've read before, a YA thriller, a popular thriller, an adult thriller, an open, like, I get to just choose whatever I effing feel like. And then school setting, because that is my favorite setting for all thrillers. Like, I love settings. Then we've got for contemporary, which I'm going to require this flag in a second. You have a new to me author, an author I've read before, a YA author, the pan flag, which I pull out the pan flag because pansexuality stands for loving whoever you want. So it's 3 different types of romances. You have contemporary adult romance, or I want contemporary YA romance, a queer romance, or I can do a paranormal romance. So, yes, I have a category for queer and paranormal, but to me, the pan flag is very much indicative of loving one another and, like, loving everybody and, like, having fun with it. If that makes sense. I'm gonna put that right there. And then we have adult, a popular, contemporary, and an open spot for whatever I feel like reading. Then for middle grade, we have new to me author, an author I've read before, mystery, so it's like a mystery themed middle grade, which if I get middle grade and it's not able to put in a Rick Riordan, that shelf's gonna be hard as fuck to get to, but we shall see. Rick Riordan, a recommended, a cover by, and an open spot. I've learned I have to have open spots or I do not like these games. For queer, we have, which are these two lovely shelves behind us. We have new to me author I've read before, an Achillean romance, which is Mel, trans/non-binary, a sapphic romance, which is female, an open slot, and then Sterling's read before. Sterling has a habit of reading a lot of queer books faster than me, because this is his main one that he loves to read. So, any ones that he's read that's a queer book in specific that I haven't read. Then we've got for fantasy, we have new to me author I've read before, myth/retelling, so based, like, it would have to have, like, a fantasy retelling, or be based off of, like, a Greek myth or something, you know? A buddy read, which I do buddy read quite a bit with Mel, and a lot of them are fantasies, so there's a lot of buddy read spots on this thing. Continue a series, an adult fantasy, because I don't tend to pick those up that often, so. And an open spot. Now for the indigo spot, which is just prompts, which I have blind, which I just close my eyes, go to a shelf, and just grab a book. Buzzword, which Kayla from Books and Lala has a year-long readathon she does every year. It's now on, like, on Goodreads now. But Buzzword is, if I land on Buzzword, I have to find a book that has that month's Buzzword for that month. Then I have a spot for buddy reads, because I buddy read a lot. Then I have a season-a-thon slot, because I am a co-host of the season-a-thons, which we run for a year. Now, for the season-a-thon spot, I can either read, if we're having a season-a-thon that month, I can read the group book for that, or I can read a backlist of a season-a-thon author that we've done before, such as Jeff Zittner, Caleb Rarig, Crystal Sutherland, Christina Lauren, Adriana Mather, etc. Favorite authors, so I would read one of my favorite authors' books. A graphic novel, and then roll the dice, which I will roll a dice for one of the shelves, then for one of the individual shelves, and then I will roll a couple of dice for what's on the shelf. And now we're going to get into the flags, which I made other pride flags. The first slot is for the ace flag, which if I get that, for the asexual flag, I would roll a 4-sided dice, and I would either choose a classic, a nonfiction, a historical, or a sci-fi. I chose the ace flag for 4 categories that I don't typically read, because one of my best friends, Melody, is asexual, And she pushes me to try new things outside my comfort zone. And all 4 of these are something outside my comfort zone. So that is the ace flag, which we'll just put here. Then we have the non-binary flag, which is a new flag for me, which I would roll a 4-sided dice. Most of these are 4-sided dice, but these are, to me, narrowed in specifics. Non-binary is a subgenre of transgender, which means non-binaries are people who don't feel like they are either gender or they're both. So they usually go by they, them pronouns, or a-er, e-a-er pronouns. I'm still learning those. But the 4 subgenres that I chose are Disney books, superheroes, indie published books, and horror. Because horror is a subgenre of thriller. These are 4 that there isn't anywhere else on here to get, and I do have quite a bit of each that I would love to be able to read, and this was the best way I could think to use them, because I have several friends who are non-binary, and I wanted to represent them. Next, we have the bi flag for bisexuality, which represents Melanie from Completely Melanie, because she's an out and proud bi. And she plays 3 different games every month to choose her TBR. She plays the Have I Read It, which goes back to one of her past, which if I land on that, I already have the book written down of what I would have to read. She plays Cards Against her TBR, which I have what she did for December written down. And Will of TBR. Well, Cards Against TBR, she plays Cards Against Humanities, but with book titles. And then Will of TBR, she spins a wheel. I have that on here. And because of what it is, I went ahead and looked it up because I film on my phone. So, there's that. Then we have the Believe-a-thon cards, which I played back in November, which Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin, for his final Believe-a-thon, did Believe-a-thon cards, which I decided I wanted to keep. So I would just shuffle and draw the top card, and whatever the prompt may be, I will choose that. I wanted to be able to bring these in because you guys seem to think I had a lot of fun playing with them, and you guys looked like y'all really enjoyed me playing with them. The next flag is, I'm dropping flags. Cool. Ugh. Okay, the next flag is the polysexual flag. I thought it was the polyamorous flag, but it's not. But polysexual and polyamorous are a lot similar, and I wanted a way to represent 3 of the most important people when it comes to books. I have here the polysexual flag, which means that they love more than one, and these are 3 people that I trust above a lot of others. I can actually probably add other people on here, but these were the first 3 that I could think of. And I put Sterling, Melanie, and Kaylani, and I'll just read one of a book they've recommended to me, a book that they love. If I'm buddy reading with Kaylani or Mel, I'll choose one of them just to fit it in. My game, my rules. And then I have the trans flag, which I decided to use other people's TBR games. Like we have TB Vater by G at Book Roast, TBR Bingo, which is Kaylani's, at Kaylani Simply Me. I have a free space in the middle because Gavin no longer plays his game. So in honor of Gavin, I will no longer be having his game on here. So it's just a free space. I get to pick whatever book I want. TBR Pursuit by Jade at Jadejuary Reads. and Bookopoly by Becca at Becca Books. And then the final flag is the LGBTQI plus flag, the original flag. And I will just roll a dice. And whatever that color represents, I will read a book to represent that. Like pink represents sexuality. Red represents life. Orange is healing. Yellow is sunlight. Green is nature. Blue is magic and art. Indigo is serenity. And purple is spirit. So I will interpret it however I want when I'm feeling it. Whatever I land on, that's what I'll read. And yes, I understand the red is not dark enough. Looks kind of orangey, but this is the best I had for those colors, so. We making do, people. We making do. So I'm going to set the flags down there for right now, along with the Believe-a-thon cards. And let's go over, before I start playing, let me talk about the buddy reads that I have going on in January, and we'll see what fits. First off, I'm going to talk about the 2 from December that I am rolling over. I haven't quite started Heart Song yet, and I have to read this before the second Sunday in January, so not this post. This will hopefully be up tomorrow, which is the last day of December, so I have a week to read this, so I gotta get with this before my buddy read. And this is the only one from last year that I like super started and never got to. I just know I'm not gonna finish either one of these by the end of the month, so I'm just gonna roll them over. This is a have to. This is for another project, just so you know. Now let us talk about my buddy reads outside of just with Mel's buddy read group. I still have Brother Song, which is the last one in the Green Creek series to read. I will have to, this one's a definite, may get carried over into February, but this is the book for January. I know Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me and a couple of people, I think it's Hope from It's Hope Books. I want to say Karina from She Who Dreams or She Who Dreams Books on Instagram. And I want to say it's Tracy that's joining us. Are going to be buddy reading the Throne of Glass series starting in January with Throne of Glass. So I agreed to do that. And then I know Nikki, okay. I have 2 separate book clubs. I am in a book club called From Blood and Books, and then Cox by Candlelight. Cox by Candlelight, most of us are reading Throne of Glass, but that book club is, we're going to be reading Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. This will be shits and giggles. Cox by Candlelight, we're going to be reading a bunch of smutty books throughout 2022. And then my other one, From Blood and Books, I haven't purchased the book yet, but me, Nikki, Tracy, and Sterling all are doing, like, we're each choosing a book every 4 months, and we're putting them in a jar, drawing them into a certain order just to have fun. And our January pick, which I cannot order until we get paid, is Read Between the Lines by Something Lacey. That one will get read in January because that is our January pick. And it's just got to be read before the last weekend in January because the last Sunday of every month is when we're going to get together and just discuss those books. It's just for fun. So those are my buddy reads outside of the group with Mel. So those are those. Now, Mel has a buddy read group on Twitter, which I talk about all the time because I'm part of it. I will state 2 of these will definitely get read. The other 2 depends on if they fit here. We decided we're going to do a bunch of the Cassandra Clares throughout 2022 to get me caught up. So I know Kaylani, me, and Mel mainly are doing some Cassandra Clare throughout the year, and we're starting with the Bane Chronicles. The next Rick Riordan that we have to read in the little order we have is we'll be reading Greek Heroes in January. I'm probably not going to get to these two, but I wanted to discuss them. So if you guys want to talk to Mel from Completely Melanie about joining, they will be starting the buddy read of Diviner series, which I'm debating on if I can get to this one. Cool. If not, I've read it before. All I've got to read in this series is the last one, so I may catch up with the third one, because I remember everything that happened in the first and second one. And they are starting Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kimmerer. Don't see this one getting put on, to be honest, and I just need to make some cuts, because game. Okay, before we actually play the game, I do have a couple of new rules that I'm going to enforce into this. Because there are 8 slots, I have to complete at least 4 books that are chosen for this throughout the month to be considered a win. If I don't, then I get a punishment book, which I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do that. I may do like a punishment challenge. And throughout the month, if one of the books that are on here that like I chose for a specific prompt, say I landed on an adult thriller. If the adult thriller that I'm reading, I'm not liking the writing styles, or it's just not calling to me, and I have another adult thriller throughout the month that is calling to me, I can swap. But I'm only allowing myself to swap 3 books throughout the month right now. That may change throughout the year, but I'm only allowed to swap out 3 of the books, period. And again, my game, my rules. So let's just get into this and roll. And the dice that I roll are these lovely iridescent dice, which I'm going to roll an 8-sided dice. We're going to start with paranormal. If I roll an 8, I get to do, yes, I know each one's got like open spots, but 8 is just, it has to be that genre, and I get to pick whatever the fuck I feel like. That's a new rule I'm doing. 2022 is already going to be stressful as enough by planning a wedding. This is me to have fun. Again, my game, my rules. So let's go with our first roll for paranormal. And I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shapeshifters. Brother Song. Gay werewolves. Yay! I was able to get Brother Song on there. Sorry. No, let's not do the 8 for that. Because remember... Okay, comment down below if you like that idea for the 8, just to be whatever the I feel like, or if you want me to keep rolling the 8 as, if I roll an 8, then I have to roll twice and get 2 books for that. Either one, let me know. This is still a learning thing, and I forgot all about rolling an 8. So just comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. But we're on to thrillers. I rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. A YA mystery thriller. You know, I wasn't able to get to it in December. Do I? Yes. Because I wasn't able to get to it in December, I am doing You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. Which, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Ivy, Mado, and Cal used to be close. Now they all have in common is Carlton High in the beginning of a very bad day. I know nothing about this, and I want to know nothing. So, yes, I'm putting this one on as my YA mystery thriller because it's the newest Karen and McManus, and I haven't read it. So, doing that. For contemporary is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. None of those are technically contemporary except for Letters to the Lost. And I kind of want to fit open. Do I want to do that one? Or do I want to do that one? You know, I'm going to do a short book for contemporary. And I am going to do Featherbed by Annabeth Albert, which is the first in the Vino and Veritas, which is a spin-off of the True North series by Serena Bowen. All I know about this is it's about a bookstore that is also a wine bar, and Harrison Philip Fletcher III falls in love with a organic, burly chicken farmer. And I know this series, the entire series is queer, and each one is written by a different author. So this would open me up to reading a bunch of different authors. And I have Annabeth Albert on a list for my goals, which you'll see coming up, and possibly it'll be in the next video after this one. Annabeth Albert is one of the authors that I want to try to read more of because I really loved her True Colors series. So, Featherbed! And so far, only one of the buddy reads is on this list. So now we're on to middle grade. Please be recorded. Or open. Cover by! Oh, a middle grade that was a cover by. Hold on. I got to move some things. I forgot I was covering the middle grade shelf. Ooh, I could. Oh, no. I have a better idea. I don't know why I did that. This, I don't know if it counts, but it's gonna count, was a gift for Christmas. And I added it to the group, to my wish list, because of the cover, and because Gavin mentioned this in a video, that it was queer and middle grade. And that is Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. It's a heavy box. Illustrated by Sandhya Prabhat. But this literally was added because it is gorgeous. My name's Archie, and I know two things for certain. My mom and dad kind of hate each other, and they're keeping a big secret from me. Whew. All Archie wants is for them to be a happy family again, and then he overhears Dad's secret, and his dream is blown apart. When a colorful flyer falls out of Dad's pocket, Archie thinks he may have found the answer. Only problem, that answer might lie at the end of the rainbow. So I've heard really good things, and I'm super excited, and I'm counting this as a cover buy, and it's a middle grade that I'm really excited about. So I apologize for yeah. Now we are on queer. Go figure. I have no more queer over there. Fuck. 3. A Killian romance. So January is full of queer books. I would have known that. I don't know. There's so many that I want to read. But some of them are being read for specific things. So, fuck it. Add another TJ Clune. Or add Someday. TJ Clune. Or Someday. TJ Clune. Or Someday. You know, I got gifted another book. I want to say this was Tracy. Yes. Tracy for Christmas gifted me Tell Me It's Real by TJ Clune, which is the first book in one of his series that they put in graphic novel form. So I want to read this and see if this is a series that I would like to read in physical form. Like, not graphic novel form, you know? All I know about this is it's about a guy who's overweight named Paul, who's 30, slightly overweight, and he falls in love with a really hot, sexy, confident guy. Me, about to be 32, overweight, in love with a sexy, confident guy. This may hit home. But yeah, we will do that one for queer. Okay, now we're doing fantasy. Which I rolled an 8, which I said was just open to whatever I wanted to add on to. So for that, I am adding Throne of Glass. Because this is the only straight fantasy I can add. So, Throne of Glass. We're adding that. I'm not going to tell you guys what Throne of Glass is about because it's Throne of Glass. Now we're to the fun ones. Now we are to the buzzwords. Which I rolled a 1, which is blind. And I'm going to be the smart one. And we have buddy reads right here. I'm just going to point at one and grab it. And that is going to be the book. Because we still have at least 3 that I need to put on here. So, you know, that was really bad. hold on. We're going to do this. I'm going to do this, and we're going to roll a dice, and it's going to blindly choose for me because my game, my rules. We're going to do this, and we're going to, that is a 1. Ice Planet Barbarians for blind pick, I guess. That was interesting. Still need to learn blind. Blind is still like up in the air because I don't have a blindfold yet. So give me time to work on that one. And now for a flag. Oh, fuck. Oh, joy. I rolled a 3, which is Mel's flag. Okay. Have I read it? Cards Against TBR, which this is the last month that I have 2 that I have to answer for that one. And Her Will of TBR. So, which fucking sucks because one's already on there. Have I read it? So from my Have I read it? So, have I read it? Fuck. I don't want to read it. Fuck. From Have I Read It? This will be the last book I get to this month because I'm not in the mood right now for it. But I rolled Witches of East End by Melissa De La Cruz. At least it's super short. I mean, it's only 272 pages, so this is the books that the TV show Witches of East End is based off of, about the 3 boat camp women, Joanne and her daughters, Feyre and Ingrid, which I'm not going to talk about because this book's been out forever. But that is what I rolled for Have I Read It? So, this is my 8-book TBR for the Read the Rainbow. For a flag, we got Have I Read It, which is Witches of East End. For blind, Ice Planet Barbarians, because I'm going into it blind. All I know about it is blue aliens with hot baseball bat-sized cocks. For fantasy, I have an open spot, which is Throne of Glass. For queer, I have Tell Me It's Real by T.J. Klune. For middle grade, I have Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow. For contemporary, I got Featherbed by Annabeth Albert. For thriller, I have You'll Be the Death of Me. And for paranormal, we have Brother Song. So those are the 8 that I have to read this month. But I only have to finish 4 of them, which is still fine, because several of my buddy reads made it onto here. On top of those, I have, because these 2 didn't make it, but will, is the Bane Chronicles and Greek Heroes, along with Read Between the Lines by Something Lacy. Those. So, picture one more. And then I have 2 rollovers, but Mel is also, I'm going to try each month to do Mel from Completely Melanie's TBR Knockout. I'm not going to say I'm going to do them every month. I'm going to try to attempt this. And maybe a buzzword. We'll do the buzzword here in a second and see if I can come up with a buzzword. So if I can get that one read this month, awesome. If not, that's fine. But for TBR Knockout, she has 2 prompts each month. For January, her TBR Knockouts prompts are, the first one is to read a book you meant to read in 2021 or finish the book that you started. And I'm using Isn't It Bromantic for that. And then her second prompt is to read the first book in a series, which I can do Throne of Glass, Ice Planet Barbarians, or Witches of East End, or I can use Featherbed. Any of those count as the first book in a series. Now, the buzzword is who, what, when, where, and how. Who, what, when, where, and how. Is there any queer books? I didn't even think about setting up a buzzword. Tell me how you really feel. No. Who, what, when, where, and how. Who, what, when, where, and how. Damn, the one I thought of doesn't have the right words. Who, what, when, where, and how. That's a different type of word. Damn it, all the ones that keep popping up with the word were in it is W-E-R-E. Damn it. Honestly, if I find a book throughout the month and I'm able to read it, I'll read it. But right now, nothing's really popping out as something that, the few that I am seeing, I'm not really in the mood for. So, you don't have like a manga? No. Oh well. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 books that I will be reading in January. Unfortunately, Mel, sorry. If I get to them, cool. If I don't, these are not priorities. Again, I ordered the wrong copy of Diviners way back in the day. That's big print. Ugh. These will be the 12 books plus read between the lines of my TBR for January. Have you read any of these? Comment down below. Are there any in here you want to know my honest opinions on? Let me know. I am doing a TikTok project on YouTube, which you'll see in my thing, where each month I'm going to, or throughout 2022, I'm going to read famous, popular TikTok books, which the first one I will be reading will be Ice Planet Barbarians, to see, is it worth the hype? And it's sci-fi. I didn't want to read this series until I saw this really pretty cover, so... Gummy. Yeah. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new, you want to hit subscribe. You want to know if I read these 13 books. Again, comment down below. What do you think on the new board? Any thoughts on rolling the number 8, on if it should stay open or if it should be like I have to roll twice for that and pick 2 books like I have been doing? Totally forgot about that. Comment down below. Also, is there any in this deck that you really want to know my honest opinions on so that I can prioritize? Yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. But remember, kids, always be fabulously yourself. Until next time, oh boy!